Picture this. It's the 1800s, and the South is gripped by the chains of slavery. But in the shadows, a daring group of individuals is leading thousands to freedom, risking their lives in the face of violence, betrayal, and the constant threat of death. Their bravery, often overshadowed by more prominent figures, helped save countless lives and bring an end to one of history's darkest chapters. This forgotten history reveals the incredible courage of the unknown heroes of the Underground Railroad. Today, we pulling back the curtain on the unsung heroes of the Underground Railroad, those who risked everything to help enslaved individuals escape to freedom, even though their names have been lost to time. If you've ever wondered about the lesser-known figures who played crucial roles in history, you're in the right place. They are the heroes of the Underground Railroad, but their names remain largely unknown, their stories untold. But what many don't realize is that Tubman, as extraordinary as she was, wasn't alone. And even children, who saw injustice in their world and said, "No more." These brave men and women were the ones who physically transported slaves from one safe house to another. Over the years, they helped rescue over 3,000 enslaved individuals. Despite their monumental contributions, their names have been largely eclipsed by those of their more famous counterparts. While figures like Tubman gained fame, hundreds, if not thousands, of other conductors never received the recognition they deserved. His daring escape was not just an act of individual courage. It was an act of resistance against a society that tried to keep him bound. She was also a tireless advocate for the abolition of slavery and a major figure in the Underground Railroad. Despite this, the courageous conductors, station masters, and abolitionists continued their work, knowing that the lives of those fleeing slavery were worth the risk. Cary's efforts took her from Canada to the United States, using her position to speak out and fight for the freedom of her fellow African Americans. The Underground Railroad represented hope for the enslaved, a chance for a new life, and a stand against one of the most brutal institutions in history. We learn that courage isn't defined by fame or recognition, but by the willingness to stand up for what's right, even when the odds seem insurmountable. They were fighting for something much bigger than themselves. And today, their story reminds us that the fight for freedom, justice, and equality is ongoing. How can we draw inspiration from their bravery to confront injustice today? I have plenty of exciting stories coming up, and I'd love for you to join me on this journey. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to continue this conversation. The heroes who made it possible may not have been seeking fame, but their legacy is powerful and enduring. Their courage paved the way for future generations to fight for freedom, equality, and justice. Some people escaped in the dead of night, relying on nothing but the stars, secret maps, and a network of sympathetic strangers. But the ones who dared to act when the world was watching and waiting. But despite the constant threat, the Underground Railroad thrived. The network extended far and wide, from the southern states all the way up to Canada, where freedom awaited. Smalls went on to become a prominent political figure and advocate for African American rights. They created a lifeline for those fleeing slavery, operating in secret, with whispers and coded signals guiding those on their journey north. The Underground Railroad was not a single line, but a vast, secret network of safe houses, hidden routes. One such hero was Thomas Garrett, a Quaker from Delaware. Garrett helped over 2,500 enslaved people escape to freedom. But his work didn't come without sacrifice. When he was caught assisting a group of runaway slaves, he was fined a staggering $5,400, a fortune at the time. He didn't flinch. He paid the fine, knowing that the cost of freedom was far greater than any monetary penalty. And courageous individuals, both black and white, who risked their lives to help enslaved people escape. Many of these unsung heroes faced unimaginable risks as they guided, protected, and supported freedom seekers. What if I told you that the most heroic figures in this movement were not just the famous names we've heard about, like Harriet Tubman, but everyday people, ordinary men and women, who sacrificed everything to help others escape the horrors of slavery? Stick with me, because what we're about to uncover may surprise you. And subscribe, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to a deep dive into one of the most extraordinary, yet often overlooked, stories in American history. By the end of this video, you'll see how ordinary citizens, motivated by profound moral courage, defied oppression, shaped the course of history, and ultimately helped change the nation. So, if you enjoy uncovering hidden stories from the past, make sure to like, comment. When most people think of the Underground Railroad, the first name that pops to mind is Harriet Tubman. The railroad wasn't just about the freedom seekers. It was about ordinary Americans, farmers, shopkeepers, preachers. One of the most compelling and often forgotten groups of heroes were the conductors. Take, for example, Levi and Catherine Coffin, two Quakers from Indiana who became known as the President and First Lady of the Underground Railroad. And then there were the station masters, who ran the safe houses where escapees could rest, eat, and hide from the authorities. While many white abolitionists played an active role in the Underground Railroad, we cannot ignore the critical contributions of black communities who were the backbone of the movement. Consider Robert Smalls, a man born into slavery who commandeered a Confederate warship and sailed it to freedom. Or Mary and Shad Cary, the first black woman in North America to publish a newspaper. As you can imagine, the stakes were high. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 made it a crime to aid escaped slaves, imposing severe penalties on anyone caught assisting them. The journey itself was treacherous, filled with uncertainty, danger, and constant fear of being caught. It wasn't just about crossing physical boundaries. It was about breaking the chains of fear and oppression. So, what can we learn from these forgotten heroes? We learn that ordinary people can change the world. The heroes of the Underground Railroad were not seeking the spotlight. I want to hear from you. What does the story of these forgotten heroes mean to you? If you enjoyed learning about these unsung heroes and want to discover more forgotten histories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. In the end, the Underground Railroad wasn't just a network. It was a movement driven by the unwavering belief in human dignity and the pursuit of justice. So, next time you hear about the Underground Railroad, remember that the real heroes are not always the ones whose names we know. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and explore more of these incredible stories from history.